guys, Basket Fairy 2 here, Megan here, and we're back for another reading of the Hose book by Sachar. We're on chapter 14, but before we get into it, for those that are subscribed and stay subscribed and watch at least One Piece content for my channel, I hope you watch more, but One Piece content is okay. Thank y'all. For those subscribing in the future, thank you all in advance. If you want to know what I'll put on my channel, please check my bio on my channel. I have my uploading schedule on there. And I have my online store, and I have my podcast link on there if you want to listen to my podcast as well. The podcast is not the readings of the book, but it's other stuff. If you want more content from this girl, please like, share, comment if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time I do an upload. Now, let's get into the reading. Chapter 14. That night, as Stanley lay on his scratchy and smelly cot, he tried to figure out what he could have done differently, but there was nothing he could do. For once in his unlucky life, he was in the right place at the right time, and it still didn't help him. "You got it?" asked X-Ray the next morning at breakfast. X-Ray looked at him with half-opened eyes behind his dirty glasses. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, grumbled. "You know," said Stanley. "No, I don't know," said X-Ray. X-Ray snapped. So just leave me alone, okay? I don't want to talk to you." Stanley didn't say another word. Mr. Sir marched the boys out to the lake, chewing sunflower seeds along the way and spreading out the shells. He scraped the ground with his boot heel to mark where each boy was supposed to dig. Stanley stamped down on the back of the blade of the shovel, piercing the hard, dry earth. He couldn't figure out why X-Ray snapped at him. If he wasn't going to produce the tube, why did he make Stanley give it to him? Was he just going to keep it? The tube was gold in color, but Stanley didn't think it was real gold. The water truck came a little after sunrise. Stanley finished his last drop of water and stepped up out of his hole. At this time of the day, Stanley sometimes could see some distant hills or mountains on the other side of the lake. They were only visible for a short while and would soon disappear behind the haze of the heat and dirt. The truck stopped, and the dust cloud drifted past it. X-Ray took his place at the front of the line. Mr. Bedinsky filled his canteen. "Thanks, Mom," X-Ray said. He didn't mention the tube. Mr. Bedinsky filled all the canteens and climbed back into the cab of the pickup. He still had to bring water to Group E. Stanley could see them digging about 200 yards away. "Mr. Bedinsky!" X-Ray shouted from the hole. "Wait, Mr. Bedinsky! I think I might have found something." The boys all followed Mr. Bedinsky as he walked over to X-Ray's hole. Stanley could see the gold tube sticking out of some dirt on the end of X-Ray's shovel. Mr. Bedinsky examined it and took a long look at its flat bottom. "I think the warden's going to like this." "Does X-Ray get the day off?" asked Quinn. "Just keep digging until someone says otherwise," Mr. Bedinsky said. Then he smiled. "But if I were you, Rex, I wouldn't dig too hard." Stanley watched the cloud of dust move across the lake to the cabin beneath the trees. The boys in Group E were just going to have to wait. It didn't take long for the pickup to return Mr. Beninsky stepped out of the cab. A tall woman with red hair stepped out of the passenger side. She looked even taller than she was, since Stanley was down in his hole. She wore a black cowboy hat and black cowboy boots, which were studded with turquoise stones. The sleeves on her shirt were rolled up, and her arms were covered with freckles, as was her face. She walked right up to X-Ray. "This where you found it?" "Yes, ma'am." "Your good work will be rewarded." She turned to Mr. Bedinsky. Drive X-Ray back to camp. Let him take a double shower and give him some clean clothes. But first I want you to fill everyone's canteen." "I just filled them a little while ago," said Mr. Bedinsky. The warden stared at him. "Excuse me?" she said. Her voice was soft. "I had just filled them when Rex—" "Excuse me?" the warden said again. "Did I ask you when you last filled them?" "No, but it's just—" "Excuse me." Miss Bedinsky stopped talking. The warden wiggled her finger for him to come here. "It's hot and it's only going to get hotter," she said. "Now these fine boys have been working hard. Don't you think it might have been possible that they might have taken a drink since you last filled their canteens?" Mr. Bedinsky said nothing. The warden turned to Stanley. "Caveman, will you come here, please?" Stanley was surprised she knew his name. He had never seen her until she stepped out of the truck. He didn't even know the warden was a woman. He nervously went toward her. "Mr. Bedinsky and I have been having a discussion. Have you taken a drink since Mr. Bedinsky last filled your canteen?" Stanley didn't want to cause any trouble for Mr. Bedinsky. "I still got plenty left," he said. "Excuse me?" He stopped. "Yeah, I drank some." "Thank you. May I see your canteen, please?" Stanley handed it to her. Her fingernails were painted dark red. She suddenly shook the canteen, letting the water swish inside the plastic container. "Do you hear the empty spaces?" she asked. "Yes," said Mr. Bedinsky. "Then fill it," she said. "And the next time I tell you to do something, I expect you to do it without questioning my authority. If it's too much trouble for you to fill a canteen, I'll give you a shovel. You can dig the hole, and Caveman can fill your canteen." She turned back to Stanley. "I don't think that would be too much trouble for you, would it?" "No," said Stanley. "So what will it be?" she asked Mr. Bedinsky. "Do you want to fill the canteens, or do you want to dig?" "I'll fill the canteens," said Mr. Bedinsky. "Thank you." Chapter 15. Mr. Bedinsky filled the canteens. The warden got a pitchfork out of the back of the pickup. She poked it through X-Ray's dirt pile to see if anything else might have been buried in there as well. "After you drop off X-Ray, I want you to bring back 3 wheelbarrows," she said. X-Ray got in the pickup. As the truck pulled away, he leaned out the side window and waved. "Zero," said the warden. "I want you to take over X-Ray's hole." She seemed to know that Zero was the fastest digger. "Armpit and Squid, you will keep digging where you have been," she said. "But you're each going to have a helper. Zigzag, you help Armpit. Maggot, you will help Squid. And Caveman, you will work with Zero. We're going to dig the dirt twice. Zero will dig it out of the hole, and Caveman will carefully shovel into a wheelbarrow. Zigzag will do the same for Armpit, and the same with Magnet and Squid. We don't want to miss anything. If either of you find something, You'll both get the rest of the day off and a double shower. A double shower. When the wheelbarrows are full, you are to dump them away from this area. We don't want any dirt piles to get in the way. The warden remained at the site for the remainder of the day, along with Mr. Berdinsky and Mr. Sir, who showed up after a while. Occasionally, Mr. Sir would leave to take water to the other groups of campers, but otherwise he and the water truck stayed parked there. The warden saw to it that nobody in Group D was ever thirsty. Stanley did as he was told. He carefully looked for all the dirt dug up by Zero as he shoveled it into a wheelbarrow. Though he knew he wouldn't find anything, it was easier than digging his own hole. When the wheelbarrow was full, he took it a good distance away before dumping it. The warden couldn't keep still. She kept walking around, looking over the boy's shoulders and sticking her pitchfork through the dirt piles. "You're doing fine, just fine," she told Stanley. After a while, she told the boys to switch places so that Stanley, Zigzag, and Magnet dug in the holes, and Zero, Armpit, and Squid shoveled the excavated dirt into the wheelbarrows. After lunch, Zero took over the digging again, and Stanley returned to the wheelbarrow. "There's no hurry," the warden said several times. "The main thing is not to miss anything." The boys dug until each hole was well over 6 feet deep and wide. Still, it was easier for two boys to dig a 6-foot hole than it was for one boy to dig a 5-foot hole. "All right, that's enough for today," the warden said. "I've waited this long. I can wait another day." Mr. Sir drove her back to her cabin. "I wonder how she knew all our names," Stanley said, as he walked back to the campground. "She watches us all the time," Zigzag. "She's got hidden microphones and cameras all over the place. In the tents, the rec room, and the shower." "The shower?" asked Stanley. He wondered if Zigzag was just being paranoid. "The cameras are tiny," said Armpit. "No bigger than the toenail on your little toe." Stanley had his doubts about that. He didn't think they could make cameras that small. Microphones, maybe. He realized that was why X-Ray didn't want to talk to him about the gold tube at breakfast. X-Ray was afraid the warden might have been listening. One thing was certain, they weren't just digging to build character. They were definitely looking for something, and whatever they were looking for, they were looking in the wrong place. Stanley gazed out across the lake towards the spot where he had been digging yesterday when he found the golden tube. He dug the hole into his memory. Chapter 16. As Stanley entered the rec room, he could hear X-Ray's voice from all the way across the room. "See what I'm saying?" X-Ray said. Am I right or am I right?" The other bodies in the room were little more than bags of flesh and bones dumped across broken chairs and couches. X-Ray was full of life, laughing and waving his arms around as he talked. "Yo, caveman, my man!" he called out. Stanley made his way across the room. "Hey, slide over, Squid," said X-Ray. "Make room for the caveman." Stanley crashed on the couch. He had looked for a hidden camera in the shower. He hadn't seen anything. He hoped the warden hadn't either. "What's the matter?" asked X-Ray. "You guys tired or something?" he asked. "Hey, keep it down, will you?" groaned Zigzag. I'm trying to watch TV. Stanley glanced certainly at the zigzag who was staring very intently at the busted television screen. The warden greeted the boys at breakfast the next morning and went with them to the holes. Four dug in the holes and three tended to the wheelbarrows. Glad you're here, X-Ray, she said to him. We need your sharp eyes. Stanley spent more time pushing the wheelbarrow than digging because he was such a slow digger. He carted away the excess dirt and dumped it into previous dug holes. He was careful not to dump any of it in the hole where the gold tube was actually found. He could still see the tube in his mind. It seemed so familiar, but just couldn't place it. He thought that he might have been the lid to a fancy gold pen. KB could have been the initials of a famous author. The only famous authors that he could think of were Charles Dickens, William Shakespeare, and Mark Twain. Besides, it didn't really look like the top of a pen. By lunchtime, the warden was beginning to lose her patience. She made them eat quickly so they could get back to work. If you can't get them to work any faster, she told Mr. Stark, then you're going to have to climb down there and dig with them. After that, everyone worked faster, especially when Mr. Sir was watching them. Stanley particularly ran when he pushed his wheelbarrow. Practically ran when he pushed his wheelbarrow. Mr. Sir reminded them that they weren't Girl Scouts. They didn't quit digging until after every other group had finished. Later, as Stanley sat sprawled across the understuffed chair, he tried to think of a way to tell the warden where the tube was really found without getting himself or X-Ray into trouble. It didn't seem possible. He even thought about sneaking out at night and digging the hole by himself. But the last thing he wanted to do after digging all day was to dig at night, too. Besides, the shovels were locked up at night, presumably so they couldn't be used as weapons. Mr. Bedinsky entered the rec room. Stanley, he called as he made his way to him. His name is Caveman, said X-Ray. Stanley, said Mr. Bedinsky. My name's Caveman, said Stanley. Well, I have a letter here for someone named Stanley Johann, said Mr. Bedinsky. He turned over an envelope in his hand. It doesn't say Caveman anywhere. Thanks, Stanley said, taking it. It was from his mother. Who's it from? Squid asked. Your mother? Stanley put it in the big pocket of his pants. Aren't you going to read it to us? Asked Uncle. Give us a stab. recording because I'm gonna have surgery. I want to be able to not have to worry about having a video out while I'm trying to get past the first few days and not having to, be out of bed and not have my foot propped up and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of ways to have it propped up when I can get out of bed, other than to go to the bathroom. So I can come back and make more videos and all that. But for those that are subscribed, stay subscribed and watch at least one piece of content from my channel. I hope you watch them all, but one piece of content is okay. Thank y'all. For those that subscribe in the future, thank y'all in advance. If you want to know what all I put on my channel, please check out my bio on my channel. I have my uploading schedule on there. I have my link to my online store if you want to look at the Halloween hoodies, the fall hoodie, the Halloween products like hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, socks, pillows, blankets, cups, anything like that. I have Halloween merch, fall merch, summer merch, and Stitch merch, like from Lilo and Stitch on Disney. And if you want more content from this girl, please like, share, comment. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know for every single time I do an upload. Rascal Fairy Tube, Simmer, Megan out. Peace out.